I'm Duane and welcome to Learn and Love Music. Today we're going to look at the romantic works by Franz Liszt. Two pieces we're going to look at, Un Sospiro and also Liebestraum. I find these to be fascinating pieces because they are very lyrical, but they include a lot of technical passage work. But he blends the technical passage work with the lyricism and the beauty. So we're going to talk about this today. So I hope you enjoy this episode on two works by Franz Liszt. As we look at these two pieces, there's some really interesting things that we hear in this piece, and also what you see in this piece. You'll find a lot of times what romantic composers do is they hide the melody in the middle. These are great pieces because we won't find the melody on the top or on the bottom, we find them right in the middle. And it's fascinating the way they do this. In this particular piece, in Un Sospiro, Liszt does it with a staccato touch with the pedal. So what you'll hear is this touch that sounds like this. And if I did that without pedal, it would sound this way. Now you may not think that's very attractive, but we add pedal and it sounds almost like bells. And also a lot of hand crossing in this piece. That's very typical of this romantic period, where not only are we enjoying the beauty of sound, but also the beauty of just the choreography at the keyboard. In the Romantic period, the cadenza was a really popular way to present the technique of a performer. And Liszt uses this. In these very romantic and lyrical pieces, he puts cadenzas in. These are places where you show off a little bit. But a lot of times, as performers, when we look at a page of music, those of you that are musicians will find there are no bar lines. So you see about 100 notes. You don't know how to organize them. One of the things that I found really helpful in playing these kinds of pieces is that I do kind of a math problem to figure them out. So with this chromatic passage by Liszt in Un Sospiro, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not very musical, but if you have that structure in your head, eventually the accents will go away, but in your brain you hear that group of 6. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. I know that's a really simple way to explain a very, very difficult passage, but it does help. So let's listen to this first part of Un Sospiro, or Aside. It's part of a group of 3 concert etudes that Liszt wrote. I'm going to play a passage of this, the first half of the piece. And notice the hand crossings and the beautiful melodies in this piece. Next, we're going to look at our second piece, Liszt's Liebestraum No. 3, one of the most romantic and beautiful and popular pieces in the romantic repertoire. It also, like the Un Sospiro, has a buried melody on the inside. You'll hear this melody composers in the 19th century. There was one pianist called Sigmund Thalberg, and they said they thought he had three hands. Well, a lot of Liszt's music sounds like he has three hands because he has a bass line, and he has an accompaniment, and in the middle, a third hand plays the melody. So, to go along the theme we've been looking at, the romantic melody buried in the middle, this piece is a perfect example of that. It's a fantastic piece, and also, like Un Sospiro, it has great cadenzas and has these wonderful. And when we practice it, like the other piece, there's a great cadenza that played slowly. There are groups of 6, just like the other piece we did. Think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But when we go fast, we sort of get rid of all the bumpiness of it, but still we need to have that structure. So those of you that are playing a piece like this, what we want to do, even though there's no time signature, we want to work in groups of 6 so you can get used to feeling more comfortable with the sense of line without the time signature. The other thing that's great about Liszt is that he'll start off in one key, in the beautiful key of A flat, and when he gets to the end of the cadenza, he'll surprise us and he'll go to B major. And it's a big shock musically, but it's fantastic effect. And here he writes più animato con passione. So you can really feel Liszt when he ramps up the energy to a new key, and it's very, very beautiful and spectacular. And we're going to end this passage in the middle with another cadenza. Once again, even though there are no measures in here, we think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's what I'm thinking when I play that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. But when I perform it, I just play straight through. So let's have fun with this inside melody of Liszt, and also with the brilliant cadenzas that go along, that happen between the sections. Here is the opening of Liszt's Liebestraum No. 3. Thanks for watching Learn and Love Music today. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the beautiful lyricism of Franz Liszt and the way he masterfully composed these fantastic melodies based on love. Make sure you subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.